Only 12 drivers remain to chase that championship trophy. Who will be the first to strike gold and punch their ticket into round 3? Or will an eliminated driver seek revenge on the drivers still in the hunt? We're about to find out. It's time for the Sub2 SRT 250 at Monza. I am your host and league owner, Sam Cook. We welcome you into this race. And just as its title alludes to, this awesome YouTube channel, if you like Mopars, if you like high-powered cars, if you like that type of atmosphere, then you don't want to miss subscription to this YouTube channel dealing with muscle cars and fixing these muscle cars up and making them the best, tricking them out, making them the best cars on the road. So tune in to that, subscribe if you are not already a member. It's going to be an awesome race here at Monza, the short circuit, as they get things figured out and get everything together. We've got 100 laps on tab with a 20-lap overtime. Sounds like a lot, but this is a short circuit of Monza, as you see on the lower left-hand corner, the track map there. And so it's not going to take that long. It's not going to be that big a deal to run this race. And so let's take you through a brief run through of the field, starting with our leader. He's won a race already. The 39 of Hyundai is our race leader. Of course, going to start the race in the pole position. Second place is going to be Gibson, another race winner, looking to start off strong. This is the reward for winning races. Skinny Brave is going to be third in the 46, a race winner. And then the randomized field starting with 0 in fourth place in the 47. Fifth place going to go to Coleman in the 3. Sixth place going to be Rocket, who was a heartbreaking elimination after Sonoma. After Rocket's going to be Bibbly Bob, one of our hot seat drivers. Should be in the rear of the field, but we're going to go from there at that point. Paintbrush subbing for Frosty. And so Frosty is going to ride in 9th place. Aiden is going to be in 10th. XR Aiden, that is. 11th, Dale. Back in Black, 12th. 13th, Arctic Owl. 14th, oh so slow in the 13. Oxendon, XR Oxendon is going to be, or Aiden Oxendon is going to be 15th. 16th, Beloved Car. We got a full field for this race. We hope you enjoy the running of it. Here we go. It's time for Monza racing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's prepare to bring round number 2 to green flag. We're off. We're racing. Through the gears they go. Green flags in the air. Lap 1 complete, and what a lap 1 that was. You saw some spinning and action on your screen, and let's take you through it. Gibson, the early leader in this race, as he snakes his way through this very short road course. A lot of racing here. First race with a full field, and so we've got a lot to look forward to in this one. We got a car stopped way in the back. That is one of our other drivers in through the field. Let's see if he has damage here. No, he doesn't. He is figuring things out, though. That is Oxendon. That's Aiden Oxendon. He's figuring things out in the number 78. Let's take it back through the field here. However, got battles going on everywhere. Let's tune into the battle for 4th place as Coleman is diving it in there. This is a tough corner for many. We got a car stopped again. And I'm going to be saying that a lot is we got a car stopped. We got a car stopped. As you saw, the car stopped and he is holding tight. That looks like, and it is Wes who's got the ball rolling here, but tough situation right there, and he's got major damage there. Question, will that bring out a caution, our first of the day, or will they keep running? They're gonna keep running. No caution call yet. And so the nature of this, I mean, a lot of drivers in the chase, so keep your eye on drivers like Gibson and Hyundai and others in this race who are in the chase. Frosty, who's getting a sub. Dale Jr. with a lot of confidence in this one. We got another car slow on the racetrack back in the pack. Because it's going to be a big deal for these drivers getting this series started off, these series of races started off well. Here's the number 7 of Bibbly Bob. Dives into turn 1. We've got cars all over the place. Oh, not turn 1, turn 4. And this is a really tricky turn 4, turn 5. It's a sweeping corner. And so what happens is the weight shifts and loads up on that left-hand side. And it's, oh, we've got trouble. Skitty Brave off track, hard into the wall. Now, he was able to recover. But the question is, did he get damage from that? No, he did not. But we saw a scary turn off track here. I know that was scary. We got a driver in pit road. That is West repairing damage. Skitty Brave, got to be careful. You don't want to get this race started off in the negative, if you will, with a DNF. So everyone opportunity to get spread out here, and a good job of everyone spreading out. Got quite a few new drivers in the field, so what an awesome job that they have. Let's get back up front. Awesome looking paint scheme for the number 38. And driving for Elite Racing. Brought Elite Racing its first win of its early existence with a win at Watkins Glen. Excuse me, not Watkins Glen, but with a win at Indianapolis. And now is looking to continue to be a force to be reckoned with for the championship. He's looking good. On board with Hyundai, who is sitting second and was able to sneak his way into victory lane. And right now, if you ride on board, is able to maintain this run. Looking really good in second place. Right now, he's keeping a pace in up on Rocket. Rocket in the number 93, and a heartbreaking elimination. Will not be able to continue to get the top prize as we just lost someone here. Let's see, was it the result of a DNF or not? Oxendine out of this race. Has not brought out a caution yet, but yeah, so you see them weave and bob through those corners. Now it's not over for Rocket. He can still gain a prize. It's just not going to be the championship prize. But can he win the battle for the top 16? We'll find out throughout the season. Rocket looking good. He's hunting down second place. Skitty Brave continuing his run too, and I really thought that Skitty Brave was going to have a win when we got into the back half of Sonoma, which you can watch. I'll put a link for that in the tab here up top on the right hand side when we post it on YouTube. But just a tough way to go out of Sonoma with a late race caution that costs him really the race win. But a lot of confidence up, was able to steal away a win at Watkins Glen. Now, how will he respond to these races? This is going to be a very tough round of races. How will he be able to get through this round? Pay close attention to the 46, who is our defending champion, trying to get another one. He battles with Rocket there. He's going to dive it on the right-hand side by side into one. Really tough but has the angle. Rocket surrenders it, gonna go right back at him into turn 2. They're gonna swing out into turn 3. Skitty swings out, ride the block, and there you go. It looks like Hyundai had a little trouble too, as both of these guys are starting to reel in. Number 39, let's go back in the pack some, and look at this Hornet's nest. 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, Coleman, Aiden, 0. All of these guys need to have a good run, especially Coleman and Aiden. Both of these guys were able to sneak into the, or not both of these guys, because Coleman is pretty much in the top, the top 12 firmly, but Aiden able to sneak into the top 12, and really important that he uses this opportunity to take advantage and be able to continue his run in the top 12. And don't look now, but behind him is the 54 of Wes. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with here. All these guys running right here by each other. And so this track, almost like an oval, allows for a lot of green flag running here. Expect some cautions. It's not going to stay green the entire time, but also expect runs like this, where it feels almost like an oval because everyone's able to get into that single file line and spread out. We got a car trapped in the tire barrier right here. Speaking of a caution, this might be our first one. Several cars involved in this one. Contact made in several angles here. That is Skitty Brave, and that is more than likely going to bring out our first caution of the race. At least it should, for endangerment of the field. And that's another nature of this track, is that really with everyone kind of in the nowhere to go in a lot of areas of this racetrack, we should see quite a few cautions. And so we'll see if the officials decide to call one or not for that one. Obviously right now we don't see a caution out. What it also did was separate the field just a little bit. We're on board Bibbly Bob, who is going to have to take that thing to pit road for damage, no doubt. He's got cars behind him, so this is really going to spread things out a lot. And I think what we have going on here is, so we had a little meeting, a driver's meeting, before the race started, and we talked about illegal cautions. And what I've noticed now is everyone's scared to call a caution now. There have been a few that have classified as cautions, and they have not been called. So good job. Kudos to these guys for keeping it green with such a big field. That's definitely going to play into the long run here. Look at Dale Jr. running 11th, and Dale Jr. really confident that he'd be able to run in the top 3 by the end of this race. He is in the round of 12. One of the things for Dale, don't DNF. Don't want to DNF out of this race. You don't want to set yourself back and have to go to the next 3 tracks, which are going to be difficult, by the way, extremely difficult. Our next track after this, Brands Hatch. You don't want to go as Dale into trouble. You don't want to go into Brands Hatch and have trouble, you know. So he needs to get off to this start. Don't wreck it. Get into the top 10. Run well. Get a good finish that allows you to make a few mistakes in some of these tougher road courses and still be okay in points. So we got 14, 13, 12 all running around each other because of the damage there. As you see a driver trying to get out of the way. Who is that? That looks like Beloved right there in front of the leaders, is able to move out the way. And that's the tough thing when you're a leader and you have these drivers, back markers, that are, you know, battling amongst each other, trying to stay ahead of you to keep from going a lap down. You've got to try to get around them. Really difficult set of circumstances. At a track like this, where there's not a lot of room, it could definitely influence a leader. And Skitty Brave, as well as that looks like Bibbly Bob, certainly fast enough to stay ahead or battle with leaders. So that's going to be tough as they enter side by side. Now this is 4th position. And so now the leader has got to figure out a way, as Skitty once again having trouble with turn 1. Leaders got to figure out a way around these guys. But oh, by the way, you got Rocket, you got Hyundai right behind you. So it's really imperative to get by these guys as quickly as possible. If you are Gibson, he is plotting. Let's see what he comes up with. These guys battle on the racetrack. We'll come back to them as Gibson tries to work his way around them. Let's get back to this little group here running all around each other. That's the 13 of So Slow. Really had an opportunity to move on in battle for the top 12. Was not able to continue. Had something come up. Was unable to have a sub. That was the difference between him moving on and then dropping into or outside of the top 12. Now he sits in the battle for the top 10 as a driver who was my sleeper pick once again to do something. He almost had Watkins Glen. Oh, we got trouble. Trouble around. We got a wreck. We got a wreck. I know y'all saw that on the screen. That looked like who is that that's spinning it around? That looked like Beloved. Oh, and no, that looked like Paint, who also had some trouble there. Who else was involved? Beloved, yeah, and Paint. So yikes, that really did something there as well. Back up front. And see, the more wrecks that we see, of course, what happens is it bottlenecks the back end of the field. And the problem with that is now, with the back end of the field bottleneck, this creates havoc for your leader. Now he's got more drivers that he's got to try and get by. With Rocket 3.7, this 3.7 can quickly diminish and turn into 0.7 or 0.3, or worse yet, these guys could wreck, and then all of a sudden he's involved in an accident. He has to pit because of damage, and then as you see these guys, I mean, using each other up, and then good move there to get around those lap cars, but I mean, it's a tough challenge because some of these drivers have wrecked or pitted. They're there around each other, and now all of a sudden you're looking at Gibson trying to have to get around these guys without getting damaged yourself. So, and you're a leader, your work is not done yet. But I do want to also make mention, look at the gap, him and Rocket compared to everyone else. I mean, a huge gap, 7.9 and counting. So, it's going to be an interesting race all the way around. He's getting ready to challenge Bibbly Bob here. He does have Skitty Brave behind him. And so if you're just now joining us, welcome to the Twitch Marshall 27's broadcast of the Sub2 SRT 250 here at Monza, 100 laps of Monza short track racing. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. I am Sam Cook, league owner and broadcaster. League host is Back in Black, found himself in trouble. Still no caution called yet. Got another car stop. Oh, we got a whole wreck. '11th place, is that Dale? Who is that? No, it's not Dale, it's Bibbly Bob. More on this YouTube channel. What he does is he buys SRT model Mopars, so Challengers, Chargers, track hawks, and anything that's wrong with them. Sometimes he buys them, they've had damage, they've been in accidents, things of that nature. And you should see when he's done, these cars look and sound brand new. Really check it out, really fascinating. He's had some very unique also Mopars. He had a Chrysler with a Hellcat engine. He's got a Viper that he has. I mean, just awesome vehicles, ton of power. If you are interested in buying some of these vehicles, you can actually talk to him, and he will actually strike a deal with you. So check him out. Really exciting stuff. There's Paintbrush, who we know can really break away at this racetrack and really do something. I think we got a... No, we don't. Never mind. I was going to say we had a caution now, but we do not. But anyway, back to Paintbrush. Really fast driver at this racetrack. And someone who really and truly can get away. I'm sure he's taking it easy. He wants to make sure that this driver he's subbing for gets the right amount of points. He's subbing for Frosty. He wants to make sure Frosty continues on. But I don't think this guy is not a threat for the win. He definitely is. And so look out for him as we continue on. Car looks good, looks stable. And we're going to see whether he can get that thing to victory lane. Currently running 8th. Got a car in pit road. That's Dell Jr. is going to go 1 lap down. Take you through the field. 2 by BRL. Welcome you back here to Monza for the running of the subscribe to Curl SRT 250 and Arctic Owl running 3rd place on the grid. He's running solidly in 3rd. He's only 3.4 behind Rocket. So looking really good right now. And he is a driver making his first start in BRL. He's a rookie driver, but what has become the custom in BRL is the rookie drivers' first starts, they run really well. And he is no exception. A definite threat to win. Definitely probably in need of a caution right now to kind of get the back markers out of the way, but definitely someone who could be a threat to win. He looks like he has solid speed in that number 30 and continues to run really strong right now, trying to get through and navigate lap traffic. He is looking good. And he's kind of in this little hornet's nest of cars here with him, and it looks like the 3 behind him, that is the 3 of Coleman, and Coleman needs this good run as well. And then a lap driver behind him just trying to hang on. Through this run. So far, no cautions so far. We're on lap 28 of 100. The laps ticking off really fast here. We've had a couple crashes involving several drivers that's kind of split the field up, but don't think we can't have a caution, guys. A caution is a very real possibility as Hyundai has driven off to pit road. And so let's see where we are when it comes to our pit window here. Right, so fuel getting low. We're definitely starting to enter our window. However, still a bit, wow, we got a car. Looked like we had a car drive off into the sand back there. Don't see him on the map, so anyway. So we definitely want to give attention to the fact that still about 30%. I'm imagining on average it's going to look like 20 to 30%. Still several laps you can run on that because this is a short track. But we'll see how these drivers choose to manage their fuel situation as here comes Coleman, going to work on the 7 of Bibbly Bob, who is a lap down. Try to get past him. Does not have the preferred line going into 3 and 4. So it's going to allow Bob to hang tight just for a little while. However, he's going to carry just a little bit of more speed around that outside, as you see. Off goes for 3. And he's able to clear that lap driver going into 1. Oh, and contact made. I think the 7 got in there just a little bit too high. Going to 5th place, it's the 29 of XR Aiden. And Aiden looking good in that Oreo scheme as he works on the lap down driver of Beloved. Or is that Dale? I'm sorry, the lap down driver of Dale Jr. 88 gets past him. He's looking to continue his run again. Look for him to pit soon as well. Carries up momentum around the high side up there. Off he goes. Behind them is 6, Paintbrush. And that number 8 moves slowly, methodically, moving through the field. Paintbrush in 6th place. We'll see how everything goes through pit cycles as well. Zero fan, a lot of controversy after that Sonoma finish. Zero looking to put that behind him. Decent run all in all. However, he's looking for a win. We'll see if he can salvage his day so far and get through this one. They're so slow in the 13. 8th. Back in black in 9th, needs to have a good finish as well. In the Italian scheme, to match our track location, he was kind of on an island, 11 seconds behind 8th, 9 seconds behind 10th, so the 9 running 9th and trying to hold tight. As Beloved battles back with him. Has the preferred line. Beloved did not take that last corner right. Black side by side with the 1. The battle for 90th. And Black can pick up the position. And Skitty Brave. I would say I'm surprised. Obviously, I know he got into a little accident earlier, but I'm not surprised. I think he can get through the field. I think he will. Still a lot of laps to turn here. Some good racing all the way through. The one surprise I do have, the 54 West. I expect him to be a little bit faster in that Skittles machine. Obviously, that was a car from a couple seasons ago that was probably wrecked, and they just threw an engine in it and sent it out there. And I mean, it's just not running well at all. We'll see if he's able to salvage the day. Again, a lot of laps to run. Not looking good right now. Dale Jr., we talked about him. And then we down to 15 drivers. Well, this is the longest we've had a full field in quite some time, and it's been exciting to watch so far. Your leader is Gibson. Saw on your screen him having trouble. That's the 39 of Hyundai, pitted already, but now it's got to march his way up through the field. He was working on Skitty Brave there. Got a little pack forming back here as drivers try to get by. Oh my goodness, I mean hard into the wall was Dale. Yikes. So we got now drivers starting to pit. Let's take a look at what we got. 7th place position. That's going to be Rocket. Going to go to pit road. Now he's coming out. That leaves Paintbrush in pit road right now. He's going to get 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. He's going to drop. Now we got other leaders coming in. I believe that is going to be... Yes, sir. That's going to be 2nd place right here. That's the 2nd place of Arctic Owl and Coleman. Those two we saw battling on the racetrack. Now they're in pit road. Race off of pit road going to be really, really important for these guys as they surrender the sole lead to Gibson, who's probably going to run it out as long as he can before he pits. So far, we've had 1 leader and 1 leader only, and that has been Gibson. He's led every lap so far. And we are pretty much on lap 40, almost halfway home this race. This race is going by really, really quickly. But guys, look, all it takes is 1 caution. So you got the leader in right now. He's in pit road getting service. You see him right there on that little snap-ons, Elite Racing number 38. He gets full fuel in service. He is on his way out of pit road. Question, can he maintain the lead as Zero's running through the back straightaway, getting ready to come into the pit. Here comes Zero around and into pit road. That surrenders 2nd place to the 13 or so slow, but Gibson is right on out. Now, can he stay ahead of the 13? As Gibson runs it out deep and into the wall. Into the wall, out deep. I think So Slow kind of got into him there, and that is going to hurt Gibson, I believe, if So Slow doesn't need to pit. I didn't even press that button. Press this button. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna have to pit. For sure he's gonna have to pit. And in the pit road he goes. So that's gonna leave Gibson in sole possession. And that's gonna return Rocket to second. But look how much time he lost. And then Arctic Owl third. But look how much time he lost to Gibson. No cautions so far. Has got a car stop. That looks like Bibbly Bob. It is Bibbly Bob. You know, that corner sometimes can just reach out and grab you, and that's what we're seeing a lot of. That corner has just not been kind to a lot as we got more drivers headed down pit road. That's going to be see which driver that is in pit road right now. That is going to be, let's see. That's going to be Back in Black. He's going to pit now. Maybe some damage there. Up ahead, Paintbrush moving ahead here in 8th place. Been a smooth race to this point, and pretty much the whole field now kind of cycled through. Quite a few of the field a lap down, so it's got more drivers in pit road. So cycling through pit stops, Gibson, your race leader. Take you through the field one more time, but this time we're going to go the back way, if you will, starting with Beloved Car. Enjoy this walkthrough. Battle for 5th place, spicing up between these guys as Hyundai's on the move, sliding right up to 6th place. That was a battle for 6th between XR Aiden and Hyundai. So battle for 5th place, I was right the first time. And Hyundai able to sneak by halfway home. And you saw Aiden almost wrecked it there. He's gonna have to be really careful. We welcome you back to the broadcast, and don't look now, but perfect timing. We've got a battle for the race lead between Rocket and Gibson as these two charged into turn 1. We finally got the car moving. There was a car stopped. The car is moving now as they dive into turn 1, and Rocket, for the first time, has caused the lead change, but Gibson's got to battle back this side by side. This is the battle for first place, the race lead. Gibson takes it back, and then right behind them, the battle going on between Arctic Owl and Skitty Brave as Arctic inches ever closer to the race lead. Skitty Brave in 10th, a lap down. These two battling it out once again, but Arctic is getting close. This is exactly what he wants to see, these two battling on the racetrack, because as long as they're doing that, they're allowing him to inch his way ever so closer. If you see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, 1.1 seconds, and closing is Arctic Owl to the leaders as they battle this thing out. Rocket looking to try to take away. Look how much time he gained on Gibson. He's putting the pressure on. Arctic Owl might take over second place. In the meantime, Rocket has your race leader. He is not chasing for a championship, eliminated after Sonoma, but he is still looking for a win and an opportunity as Arctic Owl pushes Gibson up the racetrack. Arctic has worked his way consistently up through the field, and now he is in second place, and Gibson fading fast. So I wonder what's up with Gibson that's causing him to fade so much. Could it be damage? We'll have to see. Let's give attention to this battle that's hot right now. That's second place, and Arctic is filed in behind Gibson. Gibson is taking the sole possession of second again, and Skitty Brave just hanging out right now, paying attention to this. Coleman, though, with these guys battling, he can eat into this lead some. Turn 1 continuing to strike drivers. We've seen several drivers stop in turn 1. None of those accidents, however, have brought out a caution. So for right now, we are caution free. But guys, all it takes is one. All it takes is one. We are not so spread out that we cannot have a caution. And we'll see what transpires. And boy, if we had a caution, what it would change I think cautions breed caution, so when we get that one, expect a couple to come after it. 56 laps in the books. And so Gibson has kind of gotten back in rhythm. I don't know whether he fell asleep or whether, I don't know what happened with Gibson, but now he's starting to get himself back in rhythm. He's going to have to do it in a heartbeat, because if not, Rocket's going to pull right away. And then it really is going to take a caution for Gibson to be able to catch it, Rocket again. So you need to catch up while you are close. They're coming up on lap traffic. Let's see how this affects the running. Oh, a Skinny Brave off into the past the wall there. He's going to correct himself and get it back going. Good job for him. Entertaining race so far. Only 2 lead changes has transpired, as Gibson trying to use lap cars as a pick to keep Arctic Owl behind him. He's really having trouble with Owl, keeping him behind him and keeping him from getting runs into turns 1 and 2. But it seems like now at least that Arctic cannot complete the run. And so Gibson's able to get his run or get his lap position back. But don't look now, they have caught Rocket. And so now Rocket, contact made, drafting down the backstretch, literally being pushed by the 30. And here we go into turn 3 and 4, or 4 and 5, depending on how you look at it. Contact again, the 30, making sure he clears out space. And I'm sure Gibson is not loving that as they battle for second place. Now, Gibson chasing for a championship. Arctic Owl, first race, chasing to stay or looking to stay in the top 16, gain enough points. Keep in mind, he's going to have to get at least a top 10 if he wants to make sure to clear the battle for the top or the hot seat, because we do have some hot seat drivers racing that already have points. So you're going to have drivers fall out of the top 16. You're going to have drivers go into the top 16. Aiden is looking to be one of those ones. So I'm sorry. Arctic Owl is looking to be one of those ones. Tight battling right here. Really one of the only battles we have on the racetrack. We got a car stopped. Got it going though. We're on lap 60, almost all the way through this race. And surprisingly enough, no cautions. You would think we'd have a ton of cautions here. One thing I said though is pretty consistent with last season's races, that we don't get a lot of cautions, especially typically early in this event, but we do get them late. And that's when things get really chippy, and that's when you start getting the spins and things of that nature. But early in this race, we normally can put together and string together long green flag runs, and we're doing it here again today. So thank you, Rocket, Gibson, Arctic, and the whole bunch for providing the good racing. Check on 5th place right now, XR Aiden, and he is 1 position ahead of Paint. He's about 2.4 ahead of Paint, so he's looking to try to stay in that position. A lot of drivers down a lap, so pit cycles will be really interesting and fun for sure. We got a horde of drivers back here. Lord have mercy. I think it's a mix of drivers who pitted and then drivers who were still out there pacing those laps. You got the second place battle, third place battle mixed in with these guys as well. So, oh, contact made. A lot of physicality in these positions right here. Arctic Owl showing he's not afraid to use the fender, bumper, side of the car, the wheels, tires, the window net. He's using it all here. They dive into turn number 1 and into the S's, if you will. As they go through, we got a car stopped. Is able to get it going. That's Skitty Brave. Turn 1 has just been brutal for Skitty Brave, and his nightmare continues. He just can't get that turn 1 down. I'll tell you what, he's gonna miss it one time. It'll be a DNF. I'll tell you, one person would not look forward to that, and that would be Rocket, the race leader. Ande loses a position. We go back up front. Rocket 1.8 and counting on the leader. Drivers in pit road. Oh, Rocket skipped that wall just a little bit, shaved a little bit of time off. We'll see if Al Gibson responds to that mistake. Not bad. Had a car stopped in the oval. He was able to get it going. 4th and 5th. Not separated by a whole much. There's Hyundai. Pitted, evidently, because he's further back in the field. And so let's talk real quick as we go through the field. Let's talk chase implications. Let's understand what's going on real quick. So for Rocket right now, what's the point of this battle for the top 10? Okay, so we know battle for the championship, $100 to the winner, but 20 to the driver winner of the battle for the top 16. So Rocket, this is a huge deal. Also, he's able to get into that bunch of guys that have won races, and now at Daytona can get a top starting spot where he can be assertive from the very get-go and possibly win that race. So this is setting him up for round number 2. Definitely wants to control the rounds. That's exactly what Rocket is doing right now with this, and if he can keep it up, this race win. In the closing laps of this, what does this mean for Gibson right now? Gibson and Skitty Brave, if the points were not reset, would be really close to each other, with Gibson right now probably taking a point edge, especially with where Skitty Brave is currently running in the running order. This has been a dismal race for Skitty Brave. However, Gibson led the most laps in this race confirmed, and is looking to continue his run. And if he can catch Rocket, that's going to be a big deal. And then again for Arctic Owl, he needs this good victory. Top 3 in the first race. How about that? That's never happened before. Just kidding, happens all the time. And it is going to allow him to get into that outside and into the top, battle for the top 10, battle for the top 16. It's going to help him to get out of the hot seat position. Diving it into turn 1. He almost blew that corner. That's going to allow Coleman to get right back in there. He's been eating away at that race, that gap right there. Very impressive run for Coleman. He's been able to hold it together the entire race in that number 3. He's definitely going to see some continued performance. I'm expected to see some continued performance. He needs this run. This is going to be a good run for him. It's definitely going to help him in the point standing as we head into next week's race. If you enjoy what you are watching, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube side of things, stream Monster27, and check out our previous races. I tell you what, my favorite race so far in this one has really been the Watkins Glen race. I think the Watkins Glen race with that boot was outstanding, but then beat the close finish that we had towards the end of that race, or right at the end of that race on the last lap in overtime. Just an outstanding way to finish the race. We've had very good finishes. We've had photo finishes in this one as well in this season so far, so check that out. But also, if you enjoy what you're seeing, check us out live next week. That's right, next Friday, as we run our first only appearance to Brands Hatch. We run next week. Brands Hatch next week, the Wayne Sanderson Farms 110 at Brands Hatch. Don't want to miss that race. 100 laps on tab with a 20-lap overtime, and right now everything seems as if we are going to go green the distance, but hey, it could change in an instant. I'm going to tell you something, as the leader tries to fight through traffic, as the race gets closer and closer to the end, traffic is going to play more and more of a bearing on what happens during these races, and especially as oh my gosh, as things like that happen. And there are the leaders right there, guys. There's Rocket. Look at that. Look at the run as Beloved runs out of the way, and that creates a huge battle for the race lead. First, second, third, fourth, all there together. Rocket able to reassume the lead, but there for a second, Artigal tried to peek out there. Now, what he did with Coleman, what he did with Gibson, don't think he won't try that same thing to Rocket. These two really essentially battling for the same thing, because they are also tied in points with 1,000 points apiece. So both of these tied in points. This is poor position, but then don't look down. Coleman, who has fought his way and fought his way and fought his way the entire time, and now down here he is with an opportunity to pounce on these guys if a mistake is made. Look at this battle. The 30 gets an excellent run. They side by side with Rocket as they prepare to enter turn number 4 and 5. Into turn 4. Trying to hold on to the 30. Into turn 5 and the exit back onto the straightaway. And look at that new leader, Arctic Owl, the rookie in the series, snatches away the lead from Rocket. And he's going to lead left. We'll see how Rocket's going to respond to that. And oh, by the way, Coleman, he's waiting around, just waiting for that opportunity. Contact made. No real estate given by the 93. And now don't look down, but then you got a cluster of lap cars ahead of you. So another opportunity really to use a screen, if you will. Gibson's lurking back behind in the wind. So this thing is not over yet. And I tell you what, of all this battling, you got to expect a caution. They're coming full speed, and there you go. The 3 around, and able to save the car. Kudos for them, but it really affects Gibson's exit as Rocket Arctic Owl into pit road, along with several other drivers. This allows Rocket to reassume the lead. Gibson gonna hang out with him. So a bit of action here. We almost got a big break. It definitely would have been a big break for the drivers that pitted, knowing that the leaders had to pit. Definitely have a chance to get at least one of those laps back, but that did not happen so far. Now, one of the things that Rocket has said is that, hey, late race cautions, then I get pinned, I get run over from behind. You know, expect a late race caution. This thing is not going to go green all the way to the end. And one of the reasons that Rocket dives to pit road, Gibson going to reassume the lead. One of the reasons why I say what I said is because, as you already saw, the pushes, the chances, the moves are going to get more and more aggressive as the laps tick down. That's what's going to precipitate your caution. And then, of course, cautions are going to breed cautions as you drivers recognize what time it is. If there were a caution right now, late race restart, that's not the time to give. That's the time to take. And everyone is going to be taking something. That means you're going to have more cautions and bigger opportunities for DNS. But right now, with everyone so spread out, your biggest challenge, lap traffic. Look at this cluster of cars right here. Just all right here together. Fourth, fifth, third. You know, I'm pretty sure you got beloved Dale in this mix as well. I mean, you got cars everywhere. Drivers, we hadn't really talked much about Back in Black. Not a good day, a lap down. West got trapped a lap down. You look at Dale Jr. and Bibbly Bob. 4 laps down, 2 laps down, respectively. And it's just been a tough day for these guys. But I'm telling you, you can breathe new life with a caution. We'll see if we get one. Rocket already pitted now. Let's see, can he hawk down and get ahead, get past Gibson? Yes, he can. Gibson falling as he exits pit road. Coleman is turned into the wall. Oh, big wreck. There's a 38 in the wall. Oh, we got a huge wreck. The 9, big wreck, and the caution. And just as I was talking about potential cautions and what that would mean, hello, we get one. Wow. And it came in epic fashion. Caution flag flies. Pit road is closed. And a late race restart just means we're going to have a heck of a time running here, as I believe they're going to call a red flag to allow to work things out. And that's the disadvantage of, you know, as now they get started, there's a disadvantage of having so many cars a lap down, is that, you know, it's hard to keep up with who gets what and all of that. But I think it's a situation where they're going to red flag the race to see exactly who gets their lap back. The first car 1 lap down, then they're going to pace the field to open up pit road. That's my expectation of what happens as Rocket sits third. That's the officials getting everything together right now. And while we're doing that, let's take an opportunity to talk to our Blitz reporter, the 38 of Gibson. Gibson, this is Sam Cook in the booth. We got a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Gibson, man, what a race so far. I mean, we started off really good. A lot of green flag laps, and then all of a sudden, bang, there's your caution, and unfortunately you were involved in it. What happened out there?
You know, that caution came out just because I came out of pit road, and the reason I was involved was because I braked late because of cold tires, and I think a lap car took it too deep in the corner, got in the grass, and then Elmo followed behind. So, um, really, out after all that, I gained a position, so it really didn't hurt me, which I really don't know how, but we had 76 green laps. Dude, that was crazy, man. Not expected, but that was nice to see who had a good car and who had the long run, short run speed, and so forth. It's a good race, and about 30 laps to go, and we have cars. And so the end is going to be pretty interesting here.
And that's what I was just about to talk about. What do you think the end is going to be like? Now you've got 15 drivers, the most we've ever had at this point, juncture of the race. I'm not expecting 15 to finish it, just in my honest opinion, because I think it's going to be wild. What's your expectation of the conclusion of this race, and how are you planning or preparing for it?
Right now at the moment, this restart, I ain't really sure what's gonna happen because I restarted out front. I don't know how everybody else restarted. Rocket, he gained quite a few positions in just the first restart. Going into turn one, it's hard to go through wide, and it's so hard to pass without bumping or wrecking anybody. So it's going to be hard to pass, and there's probably going to be a few more cautions. But as everybody says, cautions breed cautions. So at this moment, I think that's what's about to happen.
All right, well, I think they're getting ready to start rolling again. They are. Cautions out. Pit road is closed. We're going to get you back in there so you can get back with everybody. We thank you for taking out time to talk with us.
I got you.
That was Gibson in the number 38 Elite Racing Chevrolet. He's had an awesome race so far. He's led the most laps in this race, and of course is preparing to.
Hey, you're gonna have to ask one of them to send me an info.
Okay.
Because it's not public.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can get that done for you.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, that was the 38. He gets his invite. He's back in the party, connecting with these guys as they prepare to open pit road this time. By a lot of drivers have to make decisions. It's decision-making time right now. For the drivers that just pitted, of course, there's no decision. Stay out unless you got damage. I mean, that's kind of not something you need to even worry about. As Aiden is your race leader right now, so he's ticking away some laps led as well, as he was affected with the pit cycle. But the decision making is going to be back in the pack. Let's see what happens here. Aiden leads the field to pit road. You got quite a few takers. The back half of the field taking that pit road cycle as expected. So let's look at what it leaves. Arctic Owl in the number 30 is staying out. He is your race leader right now, and we saw how strong that Toyota is. But it's going to be his first restart from the front of the field with the whole field bearing down on him in turn number one. Expect some epicness to be going on. Can he get his first win? Rocket in prime position. However, again, for him, he's going to have the right position entering into turn one, depending on what side that Owl chooses. But she's going to choose the right-hand side. But, however, it's going to be really, really tough for him to, be able to get around this and then have everyone barreling down on him at the same time. Gibson, top three. Can he get a kind of a reset here and be able to get himself back up front to win this race? Coleman has had the race of a lifetime. He has been able to hang with this group up front, and he's been very, very consistent. And oh, don't look now. Zero is back on the lead lap in the 47, primed and ready to go. He's been quiet all race long. We're about to figure out, guys, it's going to be carnage and mayhem as these guys double file. We are going green flag this time. Who is going to be a driver that's going to be able to take effect and sneak into this one? Paintbrush sitting 7th. So slow. A lot of people back in contention. It's a late race restart. Number 1, green flag in the air. We're back racing in Monza. As they all dive it into turn 1, pushing, shoving, bumping, sparks flying, paintbrush and zero sideways, cars everywhere through the field. We got cars in the back wrecking as everyone snakes their way through. Zero up to 3rd place. Paintbrush going to be really, really aggressive too. You can expect as they try to march through the field right here. Owl trying to take full control of the race. He is flying and leads the first restart lap. Look behind him, a lot in this group right here as they prepare to enter into this corner. There's Coleman, who got shuffled back to 7th on that restart. Not a good one for him. He's going to try rebound here. They're all in the straight line. Who's going to be able to, oh, we got a turn, spin. That looks like Hyundai. And he collects a few cars. And that might bring out another caution. Oh, so we got another car around. That looks like Dale in the back. Yes, that brings out another caution. Caution out, caution number 2 of this race, believe it or not. That's going to bring out yet another caution. So, caution's out. Pit road should be open this time round with enough time for these guys to have a decision on whether they're going to pit or not. So it should be a pretty fast restart. Let's see who's able to get their lap back, as quite a few drivers are a lap down, specifically Dale and Beloved. So one of those to get their lap back, because nobody's going to pit. And I don't know whether pit road was open or not. I'm just suspecting. But obviously we saw quite a bit here, and we can expect to continue to see quite a bit of action as these late race cautions continue on. So let's look at biggest movers of the restart, because this is new, right? Restarts this race. Top 3 are about the same, but take a look here in 4th place. Paintbrush. On Paintbrush right there, right where he should be. You're talking about contending and potentially winning. Now, what is this going to mean if he wins this race? Well, what it's going to mean is the person he's subbing for, Frosty, is going to punch his ticket into next round. Now, some people may say, well, hey, Cook, that's not fair. I mean, Frosty's not here to run this race. He's got a sub. However, part of this league is picking the right subs when they're available to be able to hop in the car. Right now, we did not have many subs. We only had one available. It was Paintbrush, and Paintbrush is going to give him the opportunity to go and possibly punch his ticket. Now, championship round, obviously, you can't sub championship round. You're not going to have an easy ticket to the championship race. But you're talking about races like these, instead of being penalized for not being here, you got you a sub that's able to get you into next round. So Paintbrush, if he wins, punches Frosty's ticket, that car will be in the round of 6 or the round of 4, round of 8, sorry, in the 3rd round. Another big mover out of this run here is Aiden, XR Aiden. Now, the reason why he's a big mover is because, of course, he was one of those drivers. He was the leader. He led them to pit road to pit, and so now he is been a big mover. But yet now here we go, another restart. And unlike restarts that we've had, late race restarts in the past, like Sonoma, like Watkins Glen, like Daytona, we've got 15 drivers preparing to make this restart at this track. So mayhem has not ended, and that's why it's so very tough for these drivers, because you got so many cars bearing down on you, as so many chase contenders bearing in on you. So it's going to be a tough restart. Every restart. Yeah, I don't know. I'm expecting now, and I saw that first restart. I think we might go into overtime this race. This will be the 4th race out of 6 races that we have gone into overtime, I believe. No, actually, I believe we've gone into overtime every race, I believe. So we'll see if the trend continues. Restart number 2. Through the gears they go. Green flag is in the air. Side by side they go into turn 1. Standing into turn 1, 2 by 2. Leaders rub doors and they're wrecking in the back. Sideways. Oh, big spin. That's rocket around. The 25 in the wall as well. We are steel green. Paintbrush went from 4th place or 6th place all the way up to now 3rd. Here comes Gibson in. You have to know Rocket is not happy with the way he was raced, and I'm pretty sure we will hear about that one post-race. In the meantime, these 3, the trifecta, running hard, and caution. Caution flag flies once again, and I'm assuming that was for the wrecks that happened in the rear of the field. Arctic Owl looking strong, being able to control these restarts, and now Gibson's going to be on the front row with him, having that opportunity to control the restarts. But again, a lot of drivers bearing down on you. Let's see where Rocket ended up after that turn. 10th place. So now Rocket is right in the Hornet's nest, and again, I'm sure not happy about that one. Look for him to come roaring through the field as Rocket showing his displeasure as these 2 drivers, Rocket and Zero, get into each other now. These 2 drivers have had something going for a while now, and any chance they get, whether it's someone's fault or not, they're taking an opportunity to blame each other and wreck each other and do anything and everything they can out there on the racetrack to prove that it is a rivalry. Pit road's going to be open this time. Any takers to pit road? No. And with this many drivers on the track, the decision to go to pit road or not go to pit road is actually really, really big. You go to pit road, there's a chance you can end up in this madness back here and squander any opportunity to get a win. You don't go to pit road and you need to, well, you know, going into turn 1, will you have the grip? Going into turn 2, will you have the grip? Will you have the grip on the straightaway to get enough speed? Do you have damage? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself as you are contemplating what to do in these situations. So a lot of decisions with this many cars, and the more cars the merrier in strategy and things of that nature, or in racing, and that's why we try to have a full field every time we get out there on the racetrack. If you are interested in joining BRL, please message me, Sanford2728785, or you can message Beloved Car 49786, or you can message XR Frosty. We'll get you in and running. At least we'll try. Still got 15. It's still going to be hectic. Let's see what happens. We are racking up the cautions now, boys. We are on restart number 3 of this race, and the field has been red flagged. once again. So the officials are trying to get things together, which is the only reason for a red flag, is that the officials are trying to get order to the field, and trying to make sure that any penalties or any misunderstandings can be taken care of before the restart. These are things like drivers failing to cooperate with the rules, things like foul play between two drivers out there on the racetrack, clarification on laps or positions or things of that nature. So this is definitely something that a red flag would be used for. And so while they red flagged a race, let's real quick take a look at where our blitz reporter is. Where is he at? Right up front. And here we go, rolling once again as we prepare to finish off this event. 86 going on 87 of 100. Now remember, borrow any overtime, lap 100 is white flag, lap 101 is checkered. Bringing us to the restart, Arctic and Gibson, green flag in the air. And into turn one they go. Rubbing doors in the narrow corridor, S-ing through. And I mean, fenders are definitely being used here. Paintbrush, keep an eye on him. Everyone gets through that time. Gibson in second. He's got to try to catch Arctic before he's able to run away. And he's got to keep Paintbrush behind him, because Paintbrush, I know, feels this isn't over yet. Paintbrush on the inside, side by side, as he's going to try to take second place, coming on the exit of turn 5. In the meantime, Gibson trying to hold him off, got a little bit of momentum. Paint going to try to set him up for turn 1. Arctic is your race leader. Hard into the braking zone. Gibson loses position to Paintbrush, who's now up to second. And that is no bueno. Oh, but then he gives it back. Gibson snatches it right back from Paint, who did not have a good exit to turn 3. And now there's a little bit of gap there, and in that gap is Coleman. Well, we talked about a little bit, surging up through the field. Coleman, one of those drivers, needs to have a good finish. He is a chaser. Coleman up to third, and has that speed on the back straightaway as he's catching up with Gibson. Everyone a little bit more chill now, side by side by side. As you look 2 by 2 coming through here, that's Zero marching in there. Zero chasing in the top 12. He's doing everything he can to fight for position as he starts to drift. Not a good exit there in turn 3. 3 wide behind them. Skitty Brave trying to make a move here. 3 wide almost. They're 2 by 2 here. Fun action there. Hyundai trying to come through as well with West. There's so much action going on everywhere through the field. Big movers trying to make their move. We're coming in on 10 to go in this race. And guys, with this track as short as it is, these 10 to go are going to come through so very quickly. Back in the pack, just a little bit of bottleneck there. There's Zero on board with him. Oh, whoa! That's gonna be caution there on behalf of the 47 to Rocket there, because that was unnecessary, inexplicable, and that's not going to be tolerated in BRL. So that went that. Chase contender. Got to know how to react in certain situations. Frost, XR, Aiden. I want to say Aiden gets turned sideways on that one. He's battling back in 14th. No, I'm sorry. 12th place, I want to say, with So Slow. Yeah, So Slow got into him just a little bit. In the meantime, back up here, Paintbrush up to third again. But this time, I mean, the number 30 has just driven away with this one. Not a lot of time to catch him. Could definitely say we need a caution there. Side by side behind them. Look at Skitty Brave starting to march up through this field. Trying to pull a little Golden State Warrior into a late race comeback. And then these two side by side here. That's Gibson and West down the back straightaway and headed into turn 4 and 5. Hard now. Hyundai, yeah, wow, almost overdrove that corner. Coming in deep. In the grass just a little bit was Gibson. That's going to allow West just a little bit of edge. Now Gibson's going to dive it in deep. He's going to try and take that position away. He does. Takes it right away from West. Contact made there. That looks like Hyundai. Yep. That's Hyundai who gets into West a little bit. West can't win for losing in that position. Back up to this battle here. 4th place, Coleman. Skitty Brave able to get past Coleman and starting to surge late as Skitty Brave. The question is, does he have enough time? He's got to be able to get past 2 of these guys in order to be able to chase for that win. Our defending champion making some late race heroics as they dive it into turn 1. And I mean, he has struggled all race long, so if he's able to get this is going to be huge for him. Contact made again, the 3 doing everything he can and gives away the position. Skitty Brave takes the 3rd position. Now Skitty, he's gonna have to catch Paint. Paintbrush trying to get in rhythm. About his first time actually outside of traffic, so it's going to be really difficult for him to be able to get up front and catch, Arctic, because he's got to get a rhythm first. He's so used to running in traffic. Arctic Owl putting on the show, looking good. 5 to go. Coming up on 5 to go in this race. Back in the pack, drivers all over each other here. A lot of changes for position. As you can see on your screen, the ticker moving back and forth. Back in black. Hadn't talked a whole lot about him. He's in 9th. He's been in the pack the entire race. And I know frustrating start to the round of 12 here as he makes contact with Bibbly Bob. Now he's going to take 9th position. It looked like Zero had a little bit of trouble. He's going to try to go for that just as I start to talk about him. Black trying to heat up just a little bit. Oh my goodness. The 7th of Bibbly Bob completely overdrove that corner. We got another pile up in turn 1. And then another wreck as Bibbly Bob is turned by Aiden, as well as a few other drivers. We're definitely going to have a caution. We're definitely going to have a caution here. So late race caution. That's probably going to send us darn close to overtime. So yeah, we'll probably be going into overtime in this race because things are going to get hectic. I expect some of these drivers to pit too. Now, here's the question. Let's see, if you're the leader, do you pit? I'd say no. You roll with that. Obviously, you're gonna make it through the end of this race. So I roll with that. Do you pit? No. Let's go back in the pack. If you're paintbrush, how are you looking? You're looking well. You don't pit, stay out, roll the dice. Skinny Brave, we know, had to battle some, but Skinny Brave looks good. Coleman, how is he doing? So a lot of these drivers, Coleman, transmission damage. That's very, very interesting because that could prevent him from getting a good launch on the restart. We've seen this happen before. If you want to check this out, you can look at, you can rewatch the Dubai race that we had in Season 3 of BRL, where Little Habibi was robbed on the restarts because of transmission damage, which caused him to have some laggy restarts, and as a result, really hurt him until he got that fixed. Now, Coleman's so far up in the running. Do you really roll the dice to go in the Hornet's Nest to get that fixed? We'll figure out what he does. So let's go back in the pack, though, to drivers that were affected. Let's take a look at Zero. Damage. He's definitely pitting, running 10th. How about Rocket again involved in that as they have been beating each other up? Rocket is good. How about XR Aiden? We saw involved in that. He's good. He looks like he doesn't get much damage. How about the 13 of So Slow? What is he going to do? Well, he looks really good. Fresh tires and everything. So we're going to see what happens here. And Pit Road is the leader. Fake. He's not going to go. Who goes to Pit Road? Back half of the field. I know Zero had to go. Back in black, Aiden Rocket goes to Pit Road. Aiden, Zero stays out. No, he does not. I'm sorry. I was about to say. Not the wisest. Okay, let's go through your top 5 to prepare for the restart lap. And it's going to be Arctic Owl going to take that first run edit. Paintbrush in second. This is going to be an epic front row between these two guys. Third place, Skinny Brave out of nowhere. He's the only one I've ever seen gain talent by the end of the race, and I'm telling you, man, he has got this track figured out, and he's got the preferred line entering now. The only question is, will he survive getting run over? That's the only thing. Coleman is in 4th position, and then, of course, your top 5 is going to be Hyundai. Want to round out your top 5. Hang on tight, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over yet. As a matter of fact, it is just getting started. We got a green-white checker. This is not overtime, however. So they're going to go green flag on lap 99. Lap 100 is going to be white flag. Lap 101 will be checker unless a caution comes out on lap 99. Then, of course, we will go into overtime. Here we go. Will we go into OT for another race? Or will we end it on green? Let's see. Front row of these two headed in here. Paintbrush, our defending champion of this race, dives it in. Did not have a preferred line. Skinny Brave all in the grass. Just 3 wide behind them. That's not going to work. Cars into the wall. They're wrecking back there. Will a caution be called? In the meantime, leaders trying to break away. Cars are everywhere. 3, 4 wide down the back straightaway. Double file now as they get ready to enter 4 and 5. Smoke heavy. As you don't lift in this case anyway. The 39 didn't lift and push somebody through the corner. Driver, leader entering the zone. Yes, sir. White flag. No more cautions. 3 wide as they get ready to enter turn 1. Continuing 3 wide, now 2 wide. Skinny Brave's able to get an edge. He moves forward in that. They got a bunch of cars wrecked in the back. I mean, a ton of cars wrecked in the back. We'll take a look at that later because what's most important is your leader at this point, Arctic Owl. First start. And can he hang on for his first win, or will Paintbrush come in and take the crown of this track right back? It doesn't look like it. Out of 5 for the final time, Arctic Owl is going to win his first race of BRL Season 5. Congratulations to Arctic Owl. Paintbrush brings Frosty a second place finish. Third place is going to be Wes. Wes in third. What a comeback for Wes. Fourth place, Skitty Brave. Fifth place is going to be Back in Black. What a comeback for Back in Black. Was able to capitalize on some good stuff. And the rest of the running order, I'm pretty sure I'll get later. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of penalties. But wow, what a run for these drivers. I mean, what a run and an absolute blast. So let's go ahead and get started with the interviews here. Let's start off with our driver that was able to miraculously come away with a third place finish, and that is our driver, the 54 West. Trying to get Wes in here. I mean, what a comeback, because at that restart he seemed to be lost in the stream, or in the thing here, man. I mean, lost, and was able to fight back and come away with a top 3. I was not expecting that. And what a way to, you know, capitalize on that. I'm trying to get him back, trying to get him in here. To interview him, and as drivers file out of here at the end of this race. Let's see if we can't get Wes in here. We'll try one more time before we move on to the next driver here. I mean, all right, so what we'll do is we'll move on to our next driver. Congratulations to Wes in the 54 for a top 3. Now we'll talk to Paintbrush in the 8. We have Paintbrush here. We're joined with Paintbrush, who put together an amazing run. Paintbrush, first of all, welcome back. Thanks for being a sub driver here today. It was nice to have you back in the field. But man, I tell you, what did you think of that race? And did you think you were going to be able to, well, how your first part of your race turned out, did you think you were going to be able to get up here and be challenging for a race win?
I just want to say thanks for having me back. I don't know. In the beginning of the race, we were starting to gain spots. My first time on Forza in 2 years, believe it or not. Yeah, we started getting spots, got wrecked, came back. Every green flag run we had, we started gaining on the leader. Then we had some cautions. And then in the last restart, we lined up P2. We had the lead going into turn 1, had the nose over him, but then someone sent it 3 wide. And then I caught back up to the leader, and then I got my tires in the grass coming to the backstretch where I'm parked right now.
Oh.
And it just kind of killed our run. But But I honestly think if we had about one more lap, and or whatever you want to say, people say if we had one more lap, I honestly think we could have won the race. I figured out my old self here halfway through the race, and I just started putting some flying lap times down, and yeah.
Yeah, man, you look really strong in the back half of the race, and I mean, I think that late race restart, those late race cautions really allowed some of the drivers that were kind of marred back in traffic and were pitting out of sequence and stuff like that to really get back into the action, and it really showed. You have won this race before in dominant fashion, so no surprise to me you battling late race, but the early part of that race, man, was kind of sketchy to say the least with what was going on, man. But congratulations for bringing Frosty that second place finish, man. And like I said, it was good to have you back in a race car. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun to be around people I haven't been around in a couple of years. This only came together because Wesley sent me a message. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "Come on, you know you want to." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Sure, why not?" Like I said to you, it's my first time on Forza in like 2 years. Quickly put an 8 on a car that I used to run, and yeah, man, me too. I'm pretty happy about it. Pretty psyched. I thought, me personally, I was gonna be like 5 seconds off, like in like dead last, being like 10 laps down at the end of the race. but I guess the champ is back, huh?
There you go. There you go. Looked like you didn't skip a beat by the end of that race. And I mean, an advantage to having long races as opposed to short dashes. We had, 70-something green flag laps that really allowed you an opportunity to get in a rhythm and get your BRL legs under you again. And it definitely showed at the end, man. Who you got to thank?
Man, I just want to thank you, man. I'm back. I've known you for a lot of years. Finally coming back on the Forza thing. I switched over to the iRacing community, and now I'm back here. Maybe one off. Maybe we'll come back, do some others, and you don't know what will happen.
Okay, dope, man. Looking forward to it. That was Paintbrush
Thanks,
in the 8, man. Second place finish in his return, and almost had that dub, but he didn't. So let's talk to the guy that actually got the dub in the number 30, the rookie. Let's talk to him real quick. Arctic Owl. Try to get Arctic Owl in here. He ran the best lap of the race. And there we go. We got Arctic Owl in here. Man, congratulations, first of all, on that win. Now, let me ask you something. In the position that you started and how your race went at the beginning, I mean, take us through that. Did you think you had a chance to win this race, or take us through the progression of this race for you? Absolutely, man. And it just seems like it's becoming a trend that new drivers that come in here, their very first race, they get their very first win. You are no exception. And one thing this does is, it guarantees you running next week, no questions asked, even if you're still in that hot seat position in points, which you shouldn't be. But even if you're there, it guarantees you have to race next week because of the winner status. But something else it does is that coming to Daytona, which is the first race of the third round, it puts you as one of the drivers that will be starting up front in that race. So big kudos to that. It gives you maximum points. It puts you in that battle for the top 16. So a lot of good things come with you winning this race. Now, here's the only question. Will you be here next week to kind of capitalize on some of that stuff? I understand that. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week as the field travels to Brands Hatch to begin this tough road course swing. But in the meantime, we're going to let you burn it down, man. And in the process, our tradition here in the interviews is we ask you who you got to thank for today. Awesome. Now look, I know you can do better than that, burning it down. Come on, man, you're on camera. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Burn it to the ground. Congratulations, man, on your first win. I appreciate you coming out here tonight. Not a problem. All right, and that is our race winner. Guys, be sure to watch this one back. This was an epic finish, as I knew it would. We always have good finishes here in BRL. This has been S5, and this has been Sam Cook up here in the booth. We want to thank everyone for watching this race. So catch us next week. Again, Brands Hatch, 11:45 Eastern Standard. They will go green. Will it rain? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, catch us Monday for the BRL points update, and then Wednesday for the speed report. And do we have a lot to talk about? So you want to tune in for those. This has been Sam Cook and Twitch Marshall 27. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or anywhere in between, bid you a good night.